What's going on, everybody? My name's Ty. I'm your host.
My name's Tyler Hasty. I'm your co-host.
And welcome back to Footballin Ep.2, baby. It's going to be a great episode today. I'm so excited. Me and Calais, we're just hanging out, talking about some football. Couldn't be better than this. All right. We'll get you down to the Pittsburgh. And we're going to kick it off with Will Levis. He went 22 for 39, 262 yards and one interception for the Titans. And Kenny Pickett went 19 for 30, 160 yards and one touchdown for the Steelers. It was a close game throughout the game, but the Steelers pulled away in the fourth quarter, winning 20-16.
One thing we like the Steelers about this tie is that they moved Matt Canada down to the field, and you can see how that affected them. They were able to score in the first drive of the game, which they haven't done in a while.
Yes, that is very true. And they are 5-3 now, and that AFC North Conference is just getting better and better as we go.
Every team's above 500 is crazy.
Yes, it is crazy. All right. Now you want to take this one?
So for this game, we are heading all the way across the country to another country, all overseas to Germany, where the Chiefs take on the Dolphins in an early game. It was a good game. I mean, Mahomes went 20 for 30, 185 yards, 2 touchdowns. By Tua, while he struggled at some parts, was 21-34, 193 yards and 1 touchdown. The Chiefs got a quick 21-0 lead, but the Dolphins came firing back in the second half, but they couldn't get it done. The Chiefs got a huge fourth down stop on a fumble that sealed the game.
And even if Tua, he had a bad fourth quarter, he still had one of the best games this week for a quarterback. He didn't throw an interception. He got a touchdown. Went pretty good completion-wise. So, the Dolphins team, they took a loss, but they're still in a playoff race. So
yeah, I'm about to add how the Chiefs defense has been surprising. Tyreek Hill's been talking so much about this is his team, this is your revenge game. And McDuffie, the corner for the Chiefs, locked him down. He got 62 yards on 8 receptions. He had 8 receptions, only had 60 yards. He played really good today.
He did, yes. And, that game wasn't all to his fault, even though he blamed it on himself, which I respect. But it was just a great team win by the Chiefs. Now we bring you down to Atlanta, Georgia, with the Falcons face the Vikings. This was a close game. Joshua Dobbs just got signed, and he hasn't even been there for a week, and he balled out. 20 for 30, 158 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Great game from him. And Tyler Heineke for the Falcons went 21 for 38, 268 yards, 1 touchdown, and the interception. But still, 28-31, that was just a high-scoring game. Good job with Joshua Dobbs, though, to stay in it, even though adversity of just joining the team. And I really respect his work ethic towards that.
Yeah, I think it's more surprising how, Jared Hall was supposed to be the guy. Jared Hall was supposed to be the guy this week for the BYU quarterback, but he looked good early on. He got that early concussion. Josh Ross had to come in, and he hadn't even taken a snap. He hadn't taken a practice snap. He had taken a practice throw.
Yes.
And he comes in, he wins the game, and this wasn't like any blood. No, this is 31-28. He in crunch time drove down and scored. And it's impressive how this NFL backup, he's been over 9 teams in the last 3 years, is able to come out and
Yes, that's a great point there.
Now we're gonna head even more south to New Orleans, where the Saints took on the Bears. Now this game went under the radar a lot because both these teams have had their moments, of pretty mediocrity this season. But Derek Carr went 25-34, 211 yards, 2 touchdowns. It looks more like the average Derek Carr we've seen in 2016. And
he definitely had a great game.
He did. And the rookie, Justin Fields is still out. The rookie that Chicago has, Tyler Badgett, 18 for 30, 220 yards, 2 touchdowns. But he did have those 3 interceptions.
He did. That cost the game for sure.
But other than that, other 3 interceptions, which weren't great throws. He did look pretty impressive. This was I wouldn't say an amazing game, but it definitely went under the radar. It was close. The Saints barely pulled away at the end, getting the 24-17 win. And Taysom Hill continues to do it all for the Saints. He's scoring receiving touchdowns. He's playing special teams. He's playing quarterback. He's doing everything he can for the team.
He does, definitely. All right, let's send you down. Dude, what's our next game going to be? Okay, we had the Rams versus the Green Bay Packers. And this Green Bay Packers team, they definitely wanted this win, and they won in blowout fashion, 20-3 versus the Rams. Jordan Love, 20 for 26, 228 yards and 1 touchdown. What a game he had. Well, the backup for the Rams, it's a backup. He comes in. He didn't play well though. I mean, I'm not going to give credit where credit is not due. At least, anyways, he went 13 for 28, 130 yards, and one interception. It was just a blowout fashion victory by the Green Bay, and I'm going to give them that win. What a great win for Green Bay.
And Green Bay needed this win. They lost 4 straight. This is just important. Get Jordan Love's confidence back up as well.
Yes.
Now we're gonna head east to New England, up in the east, where the Commanders take on the Patriots, and a game that's important to both teams. Matt Jones went 24-44, 220 yards, 1 touchdown, interception. And Sam Howell, who is just continuing to deal every week, 29 for 45, 325 yards, and a touchdown. But he did have that cost interception as well. But at the end of the day, Commanders still got it done over the Patriots. And Ramondre Stevenson had a huge run.
He did,
and
yes.
It looks like the Patriots might have some momentum there, but Sam Howell, even though he has taken a little bit of adversity from getting sacked too much this year, was able to stay calm and pull out the win.
Yes. All right, now we bring you down to. Sorry, I got a little confused there. We bring you up to Seattle, where the Ravens came into town, and I mean, what a win! What a win! They wanted this win, and their defense, they stepped up when they needed to step up, and they held Seahawks quarterback Geno Smith for 13 to 28, 157 yards, 1 interception, no touchdowns allowed, and Lamar Jackson for the Ravens. He continued to prove why he has the best accuracy in the league. He went 21 for 26, 187 yards, and I mean, he had a great game. But let's talk about the running backs. We got Mitchell,
the rookie from East Carolina, really, and he's been hurt, and he comes back for the first game, and he goes off 138 rushing yards on 9 carries and a touchdown. And the Ravens just right now they look like one of the best teams in the NFL, along with the Eagles.
Yes.
Now we're going to take you down to Houston, where the Texans and the Bucs played arguably one of the best games of the year. CJ Stroud, the rookie, the second draft pick in the first round, with 30 for 42, 470 yards and 5 touchdowns, including a game-winning drive with 40 seconds left. Insane how the Texans were able to upset the Buccaneers looking for their win, but they couldn't get it. Baker Mayfield had a good game too. 20 for 30, 265 yards and 2 touchdowns, but it just wasn't enough. And the Texans won a wild one over the Buccaneers, 39-37. Now we take you up to Cleveland, where more of a blowout happened, where the Browns won 27-0 over the Cardinals, who are just rebuilding right now. Kyler Murray got announced out real late, so the backup QB Tune was awful. 11 for 20, 58 yards and 2 interceptions. It was a pretty bad, if not day for him. I mean, Deshaun Watson threw to Amari Cooper several times, and he had 5 receptions, 139 yards and 1 touchdown. Deshaun Watson was 19 for 30, 219 yards and 2 touchdowns. Arguably his best game as a Brown he's had his whole career there. Now, we take you to Carolina, a little bit more east, where the Panthers played the Colts, and the Panthers, who had just upset the Texans week prior, looked like they had all the momentum going in this game, but it just wasn't that. It was an absolute slaughter. Bryce Young, who just won his first NFL game, came back this week and looked awful. I mean, he was 24 for 39, 173 yards, 1 touchdown, which is not bad, but his 3 interceptions he threw were terrible. 2 of those were pick sixes. They looked terrible. I don't know where he was trying to throw the ball at, and led to the Colts QB, Gardner Minshew, only had 17 yards, or only had 17. We completed 17 passes on 26 with 127 yards and a touchdown. He didn't have to do much, but it didn't really matter as, Bryce Young, gave the game to the Colts basically. And the Colts win it in Carolina, 27-13. Now, another blowout we have was the Raiders and the Giants in Las Vegas. I mean, the Giants are falling apart, it looks like. I mean, Daniel Jones tore their ACL in this game. He's out for the year. There's not a lot they can do. They're laying their back sick on Barkley. Last year at this point, the Giants were 7-2. This year, they have only 2-7. And it just looks like to get worse and worse. The offense looks terrible. The Raiders, who just fired the head coach, though, looked amazing today. Aiden O'Connell making his second NFL start with 16 for 25, 209 yards. But I think the story of this game was Josh Jacobs, 26 carries. They gave him the ball 26 times. He had 98 yards and 2 touchdowns. And that's how you carry your team on the back. Now we go to probably the most hyped game of this week. The NFC East divisional rivals, Cowboys and Eagles, played for the division. Granted, this is early, this is still kind of early in the season, but this game goes a long way on determining who gets the division at the end of the year. Dak Prescott played a stellar game, 29 for 44, 374 yards and 3 touchdowns. By Jalen Hurts for the Eagles was 17 for 23, 207 yards and 2 touchdowns. Now it looked like the Eagles were going to run away with it in the second half. The Cowboys couldn't find anything, but the fourth quarter, all chaos broke loose. The Cowboys were finally able to get into the end zone and score a touchdown, making it 23-28. Dak Prescott went for the 2-point conversion to make it a field goal game, but he stepped out of bounds at the 1-yard line. That play right there might cost them the game, as they would have been field goal position later in the game, but they had to go for a touchdown. With 5 seconds remaining, Dak Prescott dropped back and threw a Hail Mary 1 yard short of the end zone. CeeDee Lamb got tackled right at the 2-yard line, and the Eagles barely held on. And this is a very important game. The Eagles have been called overrated, but they continue to win close ones as the Eagles beat the Cowboys 28-23. Sunday Night Football, we had the Bills and the Bengals, and this game meant a lot to mostly any NFL fan. As we know, last year when the Bengals and Bills played on Sunday Night Football, Damar Hamlin, the Bills safety, had a cardiac arrest and went down, and the game had to be canceled. Now that he's doing better, this game meant a lot to the Bills to play for him, but it didn't really go that way. The Bengals had a lot to play for as well, and the Bengals ended up winning 24-18. Josh Allen was 26 for 38, 258 yards, a touchdown, but he did throw a very costly interception. I mean, the Bengals just kept on getting huge turnovers, a fumble in the red zone, and really that's what won the game. The Bengals defense. I mean, Joe Burrow looked outstanding though. His old self has returned. The Bengals we haven't seen in a while. 31 for 44, 348 yards, 2 touchdowns. T. Higgins had 110 yards, 8 receptions. And that's the old Bengals who've been waiting to see for a while now. Now, the capital off Monday Night Football was probably the most boring game of the week. Just no offense at all. 2 defensive touchdowns for the Chargers sealed it. Zach Wilson for the Jets was 33 for 49, 263 yards. He did not look bad at all, but every single good drive the Jets had instantly fell apart by sacks, penalties, turnovers from the wide receivers. I mean, it just didn't look great. Justin Herbert was always 16 for 30 with 136 yards. I mean, he didn't do anything in this game. And the Chargers still won 27-6. Austin Eckler had a okay game, 14 carries, 47 yards, but he had 2 really good touchdowns. Keenan Allen made an insane catch, one of the most insane catches we've seen all year with a one-hander. And really, that's how the game went. The Chargers just kept on dominating defensively. The Jets fell behind, and they won it 27-6. That's it for this week of footballing. This Thursday, the Bears take on the Panthers, and which should be a great matchup. See you next time.